I've had multiple days in today, and I want to tell you all about it. So, I think one of the highlights was Miss Tara TFD recognizing me and saying, "Oh, have we met before?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we met in Dubai last year." And she was like, "Oh yeah." She also said, "Is your real hair?" I'm like, "No, it's not. It's an attachment, but oh my goodness." Somehow she recognized me or well noticed me, and I'll tell you how. So she did a presentation today, and it was a brilliant presentation. It was a presentation at the Gaia um, combined Ruby and Emerald dinner, business dinner. And so basically, at Gaia, we have the business dining club, and the two cohorts, so to speak, the older women who are the Emeralds and the younger women who are the Rubies, came together tonight to have a dinner. And it was anchored by Mrs. I'm not sure what her surname is. I think maybe Abdullahi, I don't know, of Abu, the bag. And it was anchored by her um and it was TFD that spoke. And and she spoke so beautifully. Hi. She spoke so beautifully. She talked about leadership. She talked about a time in her life where she had to take a sabbatical and just learn how to be slow and how to move slower, and how stress sort of got the best of her at a point in her life, and she was forgetting things and she was making faulty decisions, and you know basically she just read this book that Miss Huffington wrote, how she literally collapsed and bashed her head on her way down. So she's like, before you get to that point, prioritize rest. In fact, you have to schedule rest, fun and leisure. Rest, fun and leisure. Those three things need to be part of our to-do list, because we are always doing and never being as still to hello to sort of enjoy the moment. She read a poem about staring into space, just staring at the stars, staring at plants, staring at, noticing things around us, really, really noticing things around us. And it's a forgotten art. It's something that we're not mindful enough to do it all the time. And it resonates so well with where I am in my life right now. How I'm being a little more self-full and selfish about the time I am spending in my head to just be, the time I'm spending to not work but just replenish myself. She talked about us identifying people who are joy triggers for us. Talked about 7 different kinds of rest. She talked about and not just glorifying one and making sure that there's creative rest. There is which other one? She spoke about spiritual rest, where it's just you and God. She spoke about multiple, and the one that hit me most was, who are your joy triggers? Who are your joy triggers? People that spark joy in your life. She talked about her uncle, who from when she was young was a joy trigger for her, and even now as an adult, full grown adult, she's still reliving those moments of her childhood with him. So I'm thinking about who my joy triggers are, and I'm not going to be too hasty to make those decisions about who it is, because it needs to be, because I'm going to identify this person and know that, oh, this person is, and therefore when I'm around this person or when I think about this person, this is what I expect to feel. right? And so it's not a hasty decision that you just make based on here and now. It's really think about who they've been to you for from time immemorial, and be able to identify if they trigger joy within you. So that's an assignment that I took away from this dinner. One other thing happened where I actually spoke. Normally, I don't contribute at the dinner, more or less at the combination dinner, because rubies are younger. Rubies are not as accomplished, but are still very interesting and powerful women. And so I like to sit in those meetings and absorb and experience hello and experience these women, because this is one of the few places that I'll really be in close contact with them. So usually I don't speak at those tables, but today it was like if the Holy Spirit was pushing me, okay, say something. And I'm just like, she has said everything. And the thing is, I could relate to her. I'm not British, so I'm very Nigerian. I could relate with her so well. She talked about forgetfulness. She talked about, that's when she was, in her state of exhaustion and burnout. I could relate with all those things, all those symptoms. And so I got the courage and I said, oh my God, okay, what do I do? I'll ask a question. And that question will be sort of reflective and a rhetorical question that people can, take away and really think about. So my question was, do we as women, especially high functioning and highly functioning women, do we run away from being alone by ourselves because we are not wanting to confront truths in our life, the things that we have put in the back burner, the things that we are not trying to account for? We're just moving. And when I said that, everybody was like, a lot of people in the room were like, you could get that. I was like, God, I beg, let me not. I don't want any limelight on me right now. But I also went ahead and said, look, my experience, I have been burnt out. I have experienced thorough burnout that I landed in the hospital. And this then did something for me where it shifted the way I viewed work and commitments to things that were outside of, that were like how I saw productivity. It shifted my mindset. And I talked about, you know, I have said it on this channel before, how I'm a survivor of lupus, and that was the season of my life where I was experiencing that burnout. And interestingly, after the meeting, one of the ladies I talked to in the Ruby cohort, she walked up to me and said, look, she has experienced that as well. Hers was a year. She couldn't work for 6 months. I couldn't work for just a few days, because you shrink, you lose muscle mass so quickly. Anyways, all of that to say that when you get the courage to share your story in safe places, you give others the courage to confront their own fear, their own stories, their own lives, and be able to say, hey, you know what, this person did it and she has come out of it, therefore. So what TFD did was, she shared in a safe space. I was able to confront mine, and then the lady, that spoke to me after, Obehi, was able to confront hers as well. So therefore, sort of binding us in an intimate cord, with an intimate cord, where I can relate with you a little deeper because I know a little more about you. You can be now in my circle because I know a little more about you, and I can share more about you, more about myself, because now you're becoming a safe space for me. I'm not saying that this works every time. I'm not saying that everybody becomes a safe space once you share once. What I am saying is, when you get the courage to share your own story, where there's safety, you give others the courage to confront their own stories and confront their losing up their guard so that they are freer and they are calmer around you and then you become a joy trigger for them. So I think in all of this, it's been a thoroughly enjoyable day. Um, I really, I was so adamant about being at this dinner. Maybe God also knew that I was going to have to confront some things, and therefore I did that. I went ahead and um, I went ahead and shared, and I'm grateful for that. Um, I did that with my voice shaking and my hands trembling a little because sometimes speaking up, keeping quiet can be a little less daunting. It's courageous to speak up. And if you practice it long enough, you get the courage to speak about more things and help more people. And that's where I am in my life right now. Yes, today was good. So now, and that was just the third part of today. The first part was a slow morning. I wasn't in no hurry to go anywhere because I knew it was going to be a long day. I was taking a chill pill. I was, addressing things in a very light fashion. Today afternoon was about focusing on a part of my life that I don't talk much about anymore, which is Sycamore. We had Olympics, which is a play on Sycamore Olympics. Olympics, right? And I promised I was going to come and show up and just be there for them, and I did, and I'm very happy. There were a lot of alumni that showed up as well. There were a lot of people that came, and I was happy I did. So those were the 3 days that happened today. And yeah, I enjoyed every single part of it. I did, however, start to feel a bit nauseous, start to feel a bit run down during the day. And like the my brother used to call me highly functional, what did he used to call it? It basically was, you know, you can, I don't remember the last word he used, but basically that you can function through dysfunction and function through distraught and function through, like, regardless of what's going on in your life, you can just function. So being a recovering highly functional dysfunctional person, God forgive me, God forbid, I'm not dysfunctional. I started to feel sick during the day. I started to feel a bit warm. That was even from like 2 days ago, actually, because I was exposed to someone who had a cold, and I just started feeling funny, glassy eyed. My temperature went up. I started feeling feverish. Even overnight, I started feeling funny. So today, it started during the day, and this is me having multiple functions in a day. So how do you do that where it feels like you have to show up, but then you're not feeling like up to it? Like, I've changed two times today to be able to show up appropriately for the occasions that I had to show up for. And in all of that, I wasn't feeling too good. I think this evening, before the start of the dinner, I started to run a bit of a temperature. My head started hurting. My eyes became really glassy. I'm feeling like all the onset of a cold and all of that. I said, you know what? This is not something that I want to tamper with today. So I just took Panadol, and I decided that, you know what, the day goes on. And the beat goes on, just like my love everlasting. The beat went on because once Panadol extra entered my body, within a few minutes, I started to feel myself. I started feeling better. interestingly, the lady that sat down beside me, she's she's very interesting because I've met her multiple times. But anyways, I excused myself to the ladies very briefly and came back, and then she was like, "Oh, are you okay?" That the other lady mentioned that I may not be feeling fine. I didn't even know I was giving off the vibes. I just was trying to, you know how you're trying to overcompensate because you're like, I don't want to show that I'm not feeling too good. So just keep quiet, compose yourself. That's what I was doing in my head. And I thought it was very kind of her to notice and to ask, to make sure that I was okay. That was very kind of her. And I remember to thank her the next time I see her. I'm going to leave it at this for now today because, well, it is what it is. Today is over. It's almost midnight here, and I'm very grateful for how today went. Tomorrow is going to be a busy day. I can feel it. Anyways, at the end of the day, I typically would say what I'm grateful for and my confessions. Who I am grateful for today. I'm grateful for the lady that was sitting beside me that noticed. I'm grateful for my sister that strapped me into this dress so that I function. Yeah, and also got me the Panadol so that I'm functional. She packaged me very well and said, okay, move now. You have just a few hours. Show up, do that, and then come back and sleep. I'm grateful for my sister, Buchi. I'm grateful for Mrs. E beside me. I'm grateful for TFD, who shared from her heart and was very vulnerable with us. I'm grateful for Obehi as well. I'm grateful for Funke, who remembered that I mentioned my 40th is coming next year, and it's already like, Onye, how far? How are we planning for it? I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everybody who was a part of my day today, who helped me in one way or the other, provided, a warm meal for me. My mom. That exhaust this morning was particularly lovely. Everybody who was a part of my day. Today, my driver was particularly, softer to me. He opened the door. That's something he has never done before. Came around, grabbed the bag I was carrying, opened the door. Okay, but I'm grateful for all that, my experience today. So my confession, again, I'm looking this way because I have written it so that I don't forget it, and I'm saying the exact same thing so that I can recognize it when it does happen. Do you see what I mean? Because prior to now, I was saying different things around the same topic, but now, exact same thing, so I can commit it to memory and remember to push it out when I need to. So here it goes. Today, I'm thankful for abundance of time, health, and wealth. I'm constantly making destiny fulfilling decisions as I walk in obedience to Christ. I am always constantly in favor before God and man, so that my helpers come to me. They come in form of sponsors, in form of custodians of information, in form of custodians of wealth, skilled people, and relevant networks. I have the benefit of insight, foresight, and hindsight. I'm never a victim of circumstance, never stuck, never confused, nor at a loss for words. I am wise beyond my years. Understanding is my closest friend. Nothing dies in my hands because God teaches my hands to make war so that the war still is broken by my hands. I have a sound mind. God has said about me, He said, look, I am making a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Can you see it? I can. That is my confession for today. Thank you very much. I hope you had a wonderful day. And if you did not, tomorrow is another day. Catch me again tomorrow at about this time, between 9 and now. Sometime. All right. See ya.